Good morning, thanks for joining me. I hope everybody's well today, and today I have a makeup video for you. I always like to preface these videos with the fact that I am in no way a makeup artist. I would not dream of calling this a tutorial in any way, shape or form. I just like to put makeup on. I'm a fan of makeup. Everything I've learned, sorry, I'm about to dribble, dear me. Everything I've learned about makeup, I've learned from YouTube. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm trying a different setup today with regards to lights. I've got a ring light today, which I use occasionally for filming, but I haven't used it for makeup videos before, and it's difficult because it's so bright. It's difficult for me to see what you're seeing, so I really hope that this is going to turn out okay. We shall see. Anyway, it is what it is. I have curled my hair today, as you can see, just to make me feel a bit better. God, that kick in the... So professional. Such a professional setup here. Yeah, I was feeling a bit down today, so I decided to curl my hair to make it look a little bit nicer. And several of you asked last week in my weekly vlog when I curled my hair what I use, and I use a Babyliss Curl Secret, which is super easy. I'm going to do some footage showing you how I use it in this week. That you'll see the vlog on Sunday, the weekly vlog on Sunday, so I'll do a little bit of footage showing you how I use it. But I am hopeless with my hair, and it is a super simple way of curling your hair. I'll link the thingy that I use below anyway. Right, without further ado, let's get started. I have already done my foundation and my under eye concealer. For my under eye, I'll link all the products in the description box as usual anyway, but for my under eyes, just let me zoom you in at this point, which none of us are going to enjoy, me particularly. Oh my God. Yeah, for my under eyes, I just use the Maybelline anti-age eraser eye something or other in the shade Brighton, which I've used for years, and I find it's really nice for older skin. It doesn't sit in any of my wrinkles. It really does brighten up that sort of under eye area, although I'm starting to really notice in the camera today I can really see these sort of folds of skin here. They're horrible. I'd like those removed. Do you reckon you can get those removed? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Look at how much better that looks. Anyway, I digress. I've also got foundation on, and today I have a mixture of the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, which many people say is a dupe for the It Cosmetics CC cream. I personally like this way more, and it's about a quarter of the price. It's got an SPF of 50 in it, and the shade I have got, hold that thought, I don't have my glasses. I will go and get them so I can tell you all the shade. I am back complete with glasses, and the ring light reflects badly onto those, so I won't keep them on for too long. This is in the shade 116 Sesame, which is slightly too dark for me at the moment. And as it's too dark, I have been mixing it with this Micellar foundation, which is almost identical to the Fuera foundation. So I wouldn't go buying this one because the Fuera foundation is much cheaper. This is in the shade 101 Porcelain, which is a little bit too pale for me. So the mixture of the two and the finish I get is just perfect. Very happy with that foundation mixture at the moment, although it looks quite horrific in this viewfinder. Let's hope it doesn't look too bad at the end when I watch it back. Also done my brows. I do have my brows microbladed. Most painful cosmetic procedure I've ever undergone. Very unpleasant, but I bloody love the results, so I will put up with it. However, they need redoing again, or redoing again, redoing or doing again, one or the other. So, which obviously you can't have done at the moment because Corona. So I've just been putting a little bit of powder on just to define them a little bit more because they have faded quite a lot. It's getting on for, it will be 2 years in May since I last had them done, so they really do need doing again. Right, next I'm going to do powder, and I'm going to use this peach powder, which I got in my Yes Style haul, which I showed you last week, and it is a very finely milled white powder. We'll obviously link everything below, I've said that already. I'm going to use this big fluffy Real Techniques brush, which is the B01. I got this from Amazon recently, and I really like this for powder at the moment. It's big and fluffy, so I don't like too dense a brush for powder because I feel like it really, sorry, I'm just tipping some into the lid so I don't get too much on my brush, and it and it just really gives a lovely thin layer of powder, not too much because I don't want to look cakey at all. I just want to set my foundation really. If I'm looking over here, it's because I've got a mirror here. It's not easy to see in the viewfinder particularly. Right. Oh, the peachy smell of that is just lovely. Right, I'm going to use the same powder with a little round spongy puff. I'm just going to dip that in on the side like that. So I'm dipping the side into the pot, and to set underneath my eyes. I talked about this in the Yes Style video last week, and I find this a really good powder for setting under my eyes. I don't know about you, but I always get mascara under my eyes if I don't set under there. End up with panda eyes very quickly after putting my makeup on. So I like to just make sure that I've got that powder right up to the lash line, and I do find that one of these is better for doing that and getting it right in there than a brush. Next we're going to go for bronzer, and I'm just using a Beauty Pie bronzer that I've had for a very, very long time. It's matte. I like a matte bronzer. I've used a lot of it, as you can see. And I use this e.l.f. brush, which again is quite a big fluffy brush, but it's slightly thinner. It's not round, it's flatter. That's the word I'm trying to say, it's flatter. So I swirl that into the bronzer, and I go across the top of my head, down my temples, under my cheekbones, and then again under my jawline like that. And this just starts after you've made your sort of empty canvas, which I always think of foundation as. This starts giving your face some dimension again and getting some light and shade into it. Doing it under your jawline like that apparently just defines the jawline again, which we get saggy as we get older, don't we? So that is a good thing to do. We like a bit of definition. We all need a bit of definition as we age. Right, next I'm going to move on to highlighter, and normally people do blush then highlight, but I got this tip from Marnie, Ms. Gold Girl, whose videos I've watched for years, and she does highlighter first, so it sort of appears from behind the blusher rather than being a very sharply defined line on your cheekbone, and I really like that idea for us oldies. I'm using this Laura Mercier highlighter, which is in the shade Highlighter 01, and it looks like that. It's just a pressed highlighter. It's very, very pretty. It's such a lovely, but not too full on. And I like to use a fan brush. This is just an e.l.f. fan brush. Again, it just rub that over the top of the product like that on one side, and then straight onto the tops of my cheekbones and move back towards my hairline as well. I try not to get it too far up near my eyes because I get smile creases just here, and I don't want to be exacerbating those creases too much. So just sort of on the top of the cheek rather than right up into the temple and the eye as we age, I think. Now for blusher, I'm going to try this new Juicy Pang blusher, which I showed you again in my Yes Style haul last week. Can you see a theme? It's the one that looks like a nail varnish. And I'm just going to paint a little bit of it onto the back of my hand, like so. And then rub it in to blend it a bit. I'm just rubbing my first 3 fingers onto that. And just tap that onto the apple of my cheek, and then move it back again towards the outside of my face. Go higher rather than lower with blusher. Oh, that's quite bright, isn't it? Yeah, go higher rather than lower with blusher if in doubt as you age, because you don't want it dragging your face down. Higher is better than lower for sure. And I'm just going to go over that with the same brush I used the powder with. I really like the finish of that blusher. I think it's so pretty. Right, next, eye primer. I use Revolution eye primer. I've used it for years. I've tried lots of expensive eye primers and I don't like them. This has just got a doe foot applicator. Just put a little bit onto each eyelid and then That was rather a lot actually on that one. Just blend it in with my finger all the way up past the crease. And then just give that a minute or two to dry. While we let it dry, let's talk about eyeshadow. I'm going to do just a neutral look today. I feel like I look like a painted doll in this viewfinder. It's very odd. Let's go do a very neutral eye look today. I'm going to use probably a couple of palettes. I've got this e.l.f. one here, which I think is called, what's it called? Look at the writing is on that tiny silver dot there. Probably won't even be it. The Everyday Smoky, this one's called. And I haven't used this one very much, but it's got a really nice variety of colours from really light to really dark, which is just what you want, with a nice sort of gradient of all the colours there. It's got some shimmers, it's got some mattes, it's all that, a good selection. That's what you're looking for really. Another good option is the Maybelline Nudes. That's again got some nice shimmers, some nice mattes, a good range all the way from dark to light, all very neutral. And then this Clinique one, which you can't get hold of anymore, so I won't be able to link, which is greys and silvers and taupes all the way from light to dark again. So if you're looking to buy an eye palette to copy what I'm doing here, then look for something like. Right, I'm going to start with the e.l.f. one, and I'm going to use this colour here, which is a nice matte, and that is going to be a good colour to start putting some definition into my eyes. I'm using just a roundish brush like that, and I'm going to start painting, start into the crease and just above the crease. I've got quite deep set eyes, hooded eyes and deep set eyes, and so what I'm trying to do is bring the colour upwards. You don't notice the hooding so much while I'm talking because my face is moving around, but if I sit, if my face is still, you don't see an awful lot of the sort of eyelid area of my eye. So I'm going into the crease and above and just all the way across that area, concentrating more onto the outside than the inside, I would say. Then when you've got some colour going on there, a fluffy brush, a clean fluffy brush, not that one, this one will do, like that, and just blend that upwards. I like to always blend upwards with my crease colour, just so you haven't got a harsh line there. You distribute the colour out, it's all just about blending it so it looks more natural, you don't get any harsh lines, is the idea. Right, happy with that. So we've got some crease colour in there that started giving us some shape. I'm then going to move on to the eyelid, and I want a flat brush. This is a Sigma E57, and I'm going to start with this third colour along here in this e.l.f. palette, which is a shimmer, a sort of beigey shimmer, and I'm going to pick plenty of that up on my brush, give it a little blow, and then start putting that on the eyelid. Now this colour doesn't have a lot of payoff. It's in fact, that is very disappointing, I would say. Really very disappointing. Not getting a lot of anything from there. So let's just match up the other eye with a bit of that, and yeah, that's rubbish. I'm gonna try with the end one, the white one here. Let's give a go to that one and see if that is any better. Oh yes, much more highlighting of the eyelid going. That is much better. We've got Well, I'm really quite disappointed with that. I feel like that is not good. Those shimmers are really disappointing. Not good. I'm not recommending that one at all. I quite liked the matte colour that I used, but not the shimmers. So I'm going on to the Clinique palette here, and I'm going into this silvery colour here. Right, so that's gone all the way across my mobile lid, as you can see. Got a nice bit of highlight on there, which opens up the eye, makes the eye look bigger, more open, fresher, more wide awake. Right, I'm now going to start getting some deepening the shade on the outer corner here as we get older. Again, with the eye, always remember you want to be going upwards, not dragging it down. So I'm going to go in initially with this second colour along here, which is a sort of mid-tone. I'm going to use a smaller, fluffy brush and just place the colour on initially. So I'm just dotting it onto the outer third, I would say, of my eyelid, and then I've moved on to this darker colour now because I feel like you can't see it well enough with that one. Don't always go for a really dark colour to start with. It's more difficult doing it on camera to get so you can actually see the colour. I'm having to use darker colours than I probably would normally. I'm just moving it up from there, not out, just up. Always try and do just up rather than out, because you don't want to drag your eye down. It depends very much on the shape of your eye, and the more you do makeup on yourself, the more you will figure out the shape of your eye. My eyes are both different from each other, and as such need to be done slightly differently. I think most people have got two different eyes. Right, I've placed the colour on now, and then it's all about blending it. I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush again, same fluffy brush that I had before, and I blend it in, pull out the side of the eyes slightly, and I blend it upwards and inwards. Again, you're just trying to soften those harsh lines that you've made, placing the eyeshadow there. Right, so that's the outside of your eyes done. If you find that you've got a harsh line, you're not getting rid of it, you can always go in with one colour down and just get some of that on your brush and go along the line just to blend it, so you get a softer blend, just to blend the colour out. Am I making sense with that? I feel like I'm very tongue-tied today. But, next with my eyes, I like to go underneath, and I like to go about halfway across underneath just to define the lower lash line. A lot of people say as you get older you shouldn't do anything on the underneath, but I do like the look of having something there, so I tend to go in with a mid-tone underneath, and I use this very little stubby brush that looks like that, which is a Real Techniques brush, and I find it perfect for the underneath of my eye. Got a really runny eye today, annoyingly. Typical when you're doing a makeup video, isn't it? And I just run that, as you can see, just underneath the outer half of my eye, as close to the lash line as I can get. This basic technique you can use with any combination of colours, obviously. Finally, with my eyes, I like to, on eyeshadow, I like to go underneath my top lash line. I've talked about this before, and I do that with a very, very fine angled brush that looks like that. I lick it and I go into the darkest shade, a black, or as close to black as I can get, and I will just really push the colour into the underneath of the lash line. Your eyes will water the first time you do this, or the first few times until they get used to it. It takes a bit of practice, but it makes a massive difference to the definition of your eye. I don't know how, I've got a runny eye on that side anyway today, but I don't know how well you can see the difference in definition between that eye with it on and that eye with no, without it. God, I wish I could speak today. It's not good at all. Absolutely not an essential step, but one that I like to do, particularly if I'm filming, as I feel like it just gives your eyes that extra bit of definition. Now I've got a new mascara to try. That's quite exciting, isn't it? Have actually tried it once already and I very much like it. It's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High mascara, and it's very, very good. It's got a plastic wand, which I quite like, rather than a bristle wand, and I hate putting mascara on camera because you pull ridiculous faces, so I'm just going to fast forward this bit. Right, mascara's done, eyes are finished, eye is running. It's not good, is it? Lips finally, and I'm going to use this Beauty Pie lip crayon, which is just a very neutral colour. Right, all done. Let me take you into some decent light so you can see what it actually looks like in reality. Slightly less shiny and bright. I'm not sure that worked very well with that light setup, so I'm sort of dreading going to look at what it looks like, but hopefully it will be all right. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I'm going to put all the links below of all the products that I used, although I don't recommend that eyeshadow palette at all, that e.l.f. one. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.